back, Travel Warriors. I'm Steve.
And I'm George.
Join us as we unpack the challenges, preparation, excitement.
And passion for travel.
George, how are you?
Hey, Steve. How are you doing, sir?
Well, as they say, I have a room with a view.
What a beautiful view. Yeah, what a beautiful view behind you. Where are you at?
Well, I call it affectionately Lake Palm Springs. That's a play on words because Lake Palm Springs does not exist. This is a make believe lake, okay? But actually, this is our fourth annual trip to the Palm Springs area. Started in the pandemic year, coming back from a cruise, a Mexican Riviera cruise. We ended up driving through this area. We stopped at these outlets in Cabazon, California. And then we thought, wouldn't it be nice to just come back every year and do a little retail therapy and stay out here for a couple nights and stuff like that. So that's what we've been doing since 2020.
Oh, it sounds exciting.
Well, this year it was really enhanced by the fact that my nephew, who lives in San Diego, was able to make it out here. And so he spent some time with us as he's preparing to ship off to the Marines. So we were very, very lucky to be able to spend time with him and have him hang out with us here in the resort, along with Charlene's niece, who comes with us every year. So it was just enhanced by, look, nothing, nothing beats being with family and your loved ones on a trip. It's the best.
So, Steve, let me ask you. So, where are you staying actually?
We're actually staying at the JW Marriott Resort and Spa in Palm Desert, and this is my first time here. This resort was built about 37 years ago. It is a amazing property. It has, as you can see in the backdrop, a little man-made lake, which has boats that you can take a little tour on, and it has about 20 imported black swans that they imported from Australia, along with other species of birds which are protected here on this property. So it's just a really fantastic property. The boats will drop you off at the spa and the fitness room, which is 36,000 foot spa facility, 4,000 square foot fitness facility with techno gym equipment from Italy. So I was in my element. It has tennis courts. You can bikes are free for the guests. The boat will drop you off at a restaurant called Mikado. It's a Japanese steakhouse. They have several restaurants, massive lobby, and just an amazing resort and spa. Hospitality has been really, really super. No complaints, no issues at all.
Well, for our audience, if we go back to the Wayback Time Machine for our first couple episodes, you'll remember that you and I met for the first time there in Palm Desert back in September, October of 2003. We met at the Embassy Suites. And Palm Desert always holds a special place in my heart. I love that area. I love seeing the mountains in the background, the palm trees, the so many golf courses, and I say palm trees, the date palms there. And wow, I'm so jealous right now.
And I'm so glad you mentioned the Embassy Suites because yesterday we drove north to Palm Springs. And we took a picture of underneath Marilyn Monroe's famous statue, which has rotated to other cities, I think at least one other country. And we'll use that picture in the thumbnail for this episode. But getting back to the Embassy Suites, it's funny that you mentioned it because as we were driving back from taking a picture with Marilyn Monroe, we drove right past the Embassy Suites Palm Desert, where you and I met. Back in 2004. And so it's a funny thing about time, isn't it? And I remember I'm driving south, I look to my left and I say, wow, that's just, it's a weird feeling to see and to look back at so many years of clicked off and all the things that you've done, places we've traveled to, things that we've gotten to do in the 20 years, from that time, So But the other reason we like to come out here again is that the outlets. They have some really nice outlets. Of course, Palm Springs, Indio Thermal, Indian Wells. These are all kind of interconnected communities. It's a desert, as you know, and we live in a desert, but this desert is a little bit different. It's a little bit more spread out, but everything seems to be fresh and new, and it's got its own unique vibe. And of course, this area was famous with the Hollywood set back in the 60s. This place became a refuge to a lot of people in Hollywood. It has some parts that are very hedonistic, okay, where you have all nude resorts and things like this. You certainly can't downplay that because that's part of the culture of some of the areas out here, right? And so, but just a fantastic, fantastic place. We're so happy to finally find an oasis in the desert. And this is a massive property, George. Massive. I mean, you can walk for miles. They have a mini golf. They have an entertainment zone for kids that has a bowling alley and games. And it used to be a nightclub at one point, and they converted it. And then downstairs they have a massive multi-tiered lobby that has really nice working spaces and spaces to bring large families and groups and friends where you can just basically have a whole night. I mean, last night I could hear people probably in the lobby area till around 1 in the morning, if you were to open your door, because it's built kind of like an atrium. But it's, like I said, fantastic resort. I would love to stay here again. And I know that you have a lot of love for Palm Desert. And I'm telling you, I'm doing a trip report for you and Jarida. So hopefully you guys can make it out here. Certainly welcome to join us next year when we come out.
What is the name of the place? I guess it's maybe technically in India where you get the date palm shakes or the date shakes. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, it's a place called Hadley's, and Hadley's, there's the original structure is now dilapidated. I mean, it's completely distressed, almost ready to, you know, pulled apart, to dust.
Hmm.
But the building right next to it is modern. It was opened a few years ago, and we always go there for a date shake, and they have sandwiches, and they have a lot of unique dry foods, nuts, all kinds of unique beverages and different beers, and just a really neat place to go in and get a sandwich, have a date shake, and maybe take a few drinks for the road.
And I haven't had a date shakes. I think the last time I was there was with Zoraida and Jamie
Right,
Newman when we did Hemet, when we worked with the Hemet Unified School District,
right.
and we took a drive over and had a date shake. So that was May of 2011 was the last time I had one there. And what a beautiful view behind you.
Yeah, it's been nice to, of course, we have a large balcony. The room type that we're in is called a Signature King, I believe. It's pretty massive. It would be the size of a suite in most hotels, and it's a beautifully appointed room, a couch, a really long table underneath a pretty large flat screen, Netflix, Showtime, all the good stuff.
Hmm.
And at night we come out and they have the boats lit up in different colors and they're, trolling around and we're out here having something cold to drink and, just, kind of tired from being out in the sun, shopping, looking around. Of course, I want to tell you, George, I'm not going to get the Best in Show award this year. The only thing I purchased at the outlets was two little body wash, travel size, sample size body washes. I'm not doing pretty good in the retail therapy this year. I'm not doing good at all. But Char's doing good. Her niece is doing good. So they're probably going to get the trophy this year for number one in retail therapy on this trip. Of course, we do the food. Food's a big thing out here. We went to a restaurant called Athenos in Palm Desert, Greek restaurant. It was absolutely delicious. I had some salmon and some veggies, and we had some grilled gyro, shawarma, and the pita and the salad. It just all went down really nice. And so food's a big part of this trip.
So, Steve, a couple questions. One, um, So how many nights have you stayed? Like, when did you
Well, we
get
drove
there?
out. We would have liked to come out Friday, but Friday we had so many things going on. I was working and we just couldn't get out here, you know. So we left early Saturday morning, picked up Char's niece, and we got here pretty early. We were allowed to check in early, and we were able to get into our rooms right away. We kind of rendezvoused with my nephew, and then we headed out for the rest of the day. So we're spending Saturday, Sunday. We have a late checkout today. We'll probably do a little bit, a couple. We'll go to a couple more areas, and then we'll head home. We should be home around 6, 7 p.m. tonight.
How long is the drive from
Four
North
hours.
Phoenix? 4
4 hours.
hours, okay.
Yeah.
And so being in the desert in August, what's the temperature?
It's the same as it is at home, about 108 degrees. Yeah, so we can't escape the heat this summer. Whether you're on the East Coast or the West Coast, we would probably have to go to Oregon, Washington State to escape the heat. Again, 2 hours from here is San Diego, so you could always do the San Diego trip. But of course, we've created a tradition to come here, and it's certainly a destination location with its resorts, the kind of the shopping, the history, some of the architecture of some of these homes in the Frank Sinatra era, just incredible. Elvis Presley had a home here. President Dwight Eisenhower owned a home here. Also, there's a Betty Ford clinic. You know,
Hmm.
President Ford and his wife lived here. Notably, Barry Manilow has a home in Rancho Mirage. So there's a lot of celebrities out here. A lot of celebrities.
And I think Bob Hope had one
Yeah, Bob
when he was
Hope.
alive.
Yeah, Bob Hope,
I remember.
absolutely. So it definitely has a, history with the Rat Pack and all that. And some of the architecture of some of these homes, wow, just really. There's a book inside the room that tells you about the history of Palm Springs, and it is so interesting to read all that stuff, how it became what it is today, and the large following it has with celebrities and people from all over the world, actually.
One of the things I remember, Steve, so it's Highway 111, right? That kind of runs through.
Yeah. So we
And
come off of Interstate 10 in our exit. You're gonna laugh when I tell you this. Our exit is Cook Street.
mm,
Cook Street is our exit. It's a long street that comes off of
mhm.
Interstate 10.
Yeah, I remember it. But, Highway 111 that runs through, if you're taking kind of the main drag, right, through Palm Desert, all the way to Palm Springs. I remember it having like stoplights. It seemed like every 25 yards.
Yes, lots
I
of
think
lights.
it's like, yeah, and I think it's like 11 miles, I think, the distance, if I remember, from Palm Desert. And I mean, if you tried to go to Palm Springs during rush hour traffic, it just seemed like it would take forever. You're almost better to take the side that Cook Street or something to Interstate 10, drive
Yes,
down, then get back off of an exit to Palm Springs because it would be um, take forever. But it was also pretty. I enjoyed seeing. I called it Desert Mountains
right.
and all the green and it was just a unique. I just never forget the experience of being there for the first time. And we had worked in 2003, 2004, 2005. I think it came back in 2006 and doing all those school districts there and I loved it. So like I said earlier, I'm totally jealous that you're there right now.
Oh, you got to get back here. There's enough for us to keep coming back for many years. And there's Desert Hot Springs. There's all kinds of different things to come out here do that we haven't had a chance to do. But we have time to do it over the next few years. Peel
Hmm.
another layer off of it till we get a little bit bored of it, and then we'll move on to another part.
Hmm.
But anyway, George, if you don't have anything else, I think we're gonna wrap this up.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Safe travels back home this afternoon.
It's great to be on the road and shoot an episode on location. It's always fun. I love doing it. I'm sure you do too. So thanks for joining. joining us today, and thank you for joining our ever-growing community of travel warriors. And let's keep this journey going.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and stay updated on our latest episodes. Until next time, safe travel.